Hi, class. I am recording this a few days early, but I'm going to pretend like today is Friday. So today is Friday, September 25th, and happy Friday. I do not have the video for the flag salute, but I will send that out as soon as I get it. All right. Some important points for today is you still need to go to Walk to Learn at 10 o'clock. So no matter what time you're, watching this video, you can pause it whenever you need to complete the work. But at 10 o'clock, you need to stop and go to your Walk to Learn, even if you're in my Walk to Learn class. Mrs. Brown and Miss Leon will still be there. So please go into your Walk to Learn tile at 10 o'clock. Alrighty, so we are going to start with math. And again, you can pause whenever you need. So that means I'm going to go a little quicker because I know that you can pause. Please get out your chapter 2 math book and turn to page 75. 75. You are going to do a little brain check. It is our mid-chapter checkpoint. So what that means, page 75, all this information we have gone over in just the short amount of days that we've been in chapter 2. So it's just to check and see what you know and how you are doing. I am going to read the directions. I'm going to help you as much as I can, but I don't want to give you too much information. And again, pause whenever you need. All right, we're going to start with our vocabulary. Choose the best term from the box. A blank uses numbers to record data. So choose one of these three and write them in. So a frequency table uses numbers to record data. A key uses numbers to record data. A picture graph uses numbers to record data. So which one? Number 2, a blank uses small pictures or symbols to show and compare information. Right, so which one of these three fits that definition? Number 3, right away. I want you to notice the table over here. I don't want to tell you what it's called. And then we'll start with number 3. So use the favorite season table for numbers 3 through 6. So here are our favorite seasons. Our categories are spring, summer, fall, and winter. So which season got the most votes? So which season? Which season got 3 fewer votes than winter? Ooh, so you need to figure out our key numbers. So you need to figure out winter and which season has 3 fewer than winter. Number 5, how many more students chose summer than fall? We need to find those key numbers. Remember, they're in the table. There's one. There is a math verb. Box your math verb. So we're still using cubes. Solve the problem. Number 6, how many students chose a favorite season? So this question is also similar to the question of how many students were surveyed. So we've done a few of those questions. It's the same thing. Do the same steps. All right. Ooh, before I read the questions, I want you to come over here to your picture graph, and I want you to label how many students chose, or how many students said that they have birds, cats, dogs, fish. Write that number. Pay attention to the key. Pay attention to that half picture. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Number 7, how many students have cats as pets? Number 8, 5 more students have dogs than which other pet? You need to find your key numbers. So figure out what we're looking for. There also is a math verb. So solve that problem. Number 9, how many pets in all do students have? This is also the same question of how many students were surveyed. Good. Flip over to page 76. Again, I want you to come over to your picture graph and right away, I want you to write. It is favorite summer activity. So they asked people, what is your favorite summer activity? Their choices were camping, biking, swimming, and canoeing. I want you to write the number based on our pictures of how people voted. Pay attention to that key. What does each picture represent? Pay attention to that half picture. What is that going to represent? Not going to tell you. When you're done with that, go over to your questions. So use the favorite summer activity picture graph right here for 10 through 14. Number 10. Some students in Brooke's class chose their favorite summer activity. The results are in the picture graph at the right. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. So these first two sentences are kind of fluff, which I call, which means they're just setting it up. They're telling you to use this graph. Because now you have to use cubes, underline that question. How many students chose camping? How many? You should have your answer already because you filled in your graph. Number 11. How many more students chose swimming than canoeing? So you need to find your key numbers in your graph. There is a math verb. Let's go ahead and solve. Number 12. Which activity did 15 fewer students choose than camping? Ooh, so we need to figure out how many students chose camping. And then there is a math verb. So you need to figure out which other activity did 15 fewer students choose. So you need to write the activity down. Number 13. How many pictures would you draw for biking if each son is 5 students? This is like the one that we just did. So instead of our son being 10 students, pretend our son is 5 students. So you need to go up to biking. You should have a number of how many students biked. Skip count by 5s. And now with your son representing 5 students, how many sons would you need to draw in biking? Number 14, how many more students chose biking and canoeing combined than swimming? Wow, I have 3 math verbs. I have 3 activities, so I'm going to have 3 key numbers. Remember, your hint is you are always going to add before you subtract. I will give you that hint. All right. You need to finish page 75 and 76. That is today's work. Next, we're going to pull out weeks 4 and 5 brain check, not weeks 6 and 7. It's 4 and 5. So this is kind of the older brain check, not the new one you just got last week. This is the one that had our math brain check in it that we did on Monday. So flip through. I want you to go to the the page after math. This is vocabulary match. This is your vocabulary brain check. Your directions. Write each vocabulary word next to its definition. So that's all I want you to do for this week. Your definition's on the side. Your vocabulary words are on top. So write the vocabulary word next to the correct definition. Next, week 5 race packet. Get your week 5 race packet out. If you do not have week 5, there are 2 of you. I just want you to grab a piece of paper because you can still work with us, write your answers, because you will just pause the screen. Just pause the video to answer the questions. I'm going to do one. You're going to pause, do it with me. Then you're going to do one on your own. So a reminder, our R is restating the question. Why was Jim late? Jim was late because. That is restating. Then you actually have to answer. So you're filling in the rest of the sentence. A for answer. Answer the question completely. That's why we always dissect our directions and make sure that we're answering every part of the question. When I say dissect, remember that's where we circle a command. If it says write, and we put number 1 on top. Or if it says read, we circle the command. C is for cite. Cite evidence from the text that support your answer. This is where we underline in the text that support our question and our answer. But you don't just underline in the text. Then you have to write according to the text or the story said, and it needs to go in quotation marks. I just graded the week 5 or the week 4 race packets, and I would like to give a shout out to, I believe it was Seth and Dylan, were the only students who correctly cited. So they used quotation marks and pulled a quote straight from the story. And then they explained how that quote answers their question. So after you end your quote, then you say, this evidence shows me blank. So we're going to do that. So bravo to you two. Good job. Everyone else? Not everyone turned it in, but the ones who did try it, I'm so proud of you. You got full credit for trying. Now we need to dive more in because I know you can do it. All right. Flip the page to race practice number 5. The teenagers giggled at the scene in front of them. Even though they were not giggling too loudly, the person in front of them still turned around to glare at them. A little embarrassed, the teenagers quickly stopped giggling and checked to make sure that their phones were on silent. Then they resumed staring straight ahead. The lights started to dim and the teenagers smiled in anticipation. All right, I'm going to read it one more time. The teenagers giggled at the scene in front of them. Even though they were not giggling too loudly, the person in front of them still turned around to glare at them. A little embarrassed, the teenagers quickly stopped giggling and checked to make sure that their phones were on silent. Then they resumed staring straight ahead. The lights started to dim and the teenagers smiled in anticipation. So we're going to start with R. Restate the question. Our question is, where were the teenagers? So how we restate that is, and then I want you to write with me and pause when you need. The teenagers were at, okay, that is restating. Then We restated the question. Now let's answer the question. Where were they? The student or the teenagers were at the movies. Boy, do I miss going to the movies. Period. So we just finished our first 2 steps in one sentence. And I made a beautiful oops. I wrote where instead of were. So the students were. So I will just cross that out. The students were at the movies. You can put movie theater if you want. Now we're going to cite our evidence. We need to look back in our text and figure out, how do we know they were at the movies? What makes us think that? Well, let me see. There's a few things. I've never read this one before, and I wasn't sure where they were. So when I first started reading, the teenagers giggled at the scene in front of them. I was thinking, oh, maybe they're laughing at someone in front of them. Even though they were not giggling too loudly, the person in front of them still turned around to glare at them. So I was still thinking that they were in maybe like a grocery store, or they were in line somewhere. That's where my mind went. Because I visualize, remember, every time I read. A little embarrassed, the teenagers quickly stopped giggling and checked to make sure that their phones were on silent. This is where I was thinking, okay, they're not at the store, because if they were quietly giggling behind someone, they wouldn't immediately look at their phone, worried that their phone was distracting the person in front of them. Then I think, where can someone's phone distract someone? Okay, not in school, because we don't have our phones out. And then I was starting to think about the movie theater. Then they resumed staring straight ahead. The light started to dim, and the teenagers smiled in anticipation. All right, so where I really knew it was the theater is when it said the light started to dim. Then the teenagers smiled in anticipation, so they're excited for the movie. So my big evidence, what I want to write, is the light started to dim. We, of course, can underline, they looked at the scene in front of them. Now I'm thinking, oh, it's a scene as in from a movie. Then it makes me think, oh, okay, the person in front of them turned around, because when you're in a movie theater, if you say anything or, giggle or anything, usually people turn around and they're like, shh, be quiet. But one is when your phone is really bright, people do turn around because they can see the bright lights. But I like the lights started to dim, because in a movie theater, that's really when the lights dim and you need to be quiet and put your phone away. So the teenagers were at the movies. According to the text, comma, quote. Some of you did awesome and you wrote according to the text, but then you wrote whatever you thought. You want to pull straight from the writing. So according to the text, the light started to dim. Period, quote, because I'm only going to use the beginning part of the sentence. Now, so we cited. Now we need to do explain. I'm sorry, not evidence. Explain. So what does this evidence show you? The evidence shows me that the lights were going off, so the movie could start. You can word it however you think, but in my mind, I'm thinking the evidence shows me that the lights were going off. Dim means it is going lower. Some movie theaters do turn the lights off. So the movie could start. That is our explain. We are explaining. We are explaining how the light started to dim has anything to do with them being at the movie theater. All right, now turn to race practice number 6. We're going to read it together, but you are going to do this on your own. When Shane woke up, he ran to the window to see if the forecaster had been correct. He was excited to see that the ground was covered nicely and that more flakes were falling from the sky. He ran to his closet and grabbed his heaviest coat and his boots. As he was getting dressed, he tried to remember where he had put his gloves. Why is Shane excited? So you need to restate the question first. Then you need to answer the question. Then go back in your text, underline where it proves your answer of why he's excited. That's where the C is where you're going to put, according to the text, comma, quote, whatever you underline, you write. You need to end your quotation marks. Then you explain. This evidence shows me blank. So what does it show you? Very good. All right. You need to complete that. And now, just like I showed you already, you are going to go on your Wonders portal. Now, I'm going to show you how to get to your Wonders portal. You have 3 different activities that are in there. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. You need to go into your Gmail. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. When you have internet open, go to your waffle and click your waffle. I need to move this picture. All right. See 2 of me. Okay, so click your waffle. You need to scroll down. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. Keep going. And it says McGraw-Hill Education Connect ED. Please click that. You will need to click your email. It should already be in here. I do not remember what you see, but if you are on this page, you need to go to Student Edition. Third grade, and it will take you here. Since it's me, I do not see what you do as far as your to-do list, but you will go up to the green button where it says to do. To do. And you will have 3 things listed right here. Let me show you on mine what they're called. So on mine, it is called commands, main idea and details, vocabulary practice. You will do each of them. Oops. So I will just show you what it looks like, just so you know. This is what my teacher side looks like. All right. So what I have assigned to you is commands. So you will have one that pops up like this, and you are going to sort the statements below into statements and exclamation. All right? You will press check when you're done, and you will hit next. You keep going until it says you are done. That is commands and exclamation. Then you have, where is it? Vocabulary practice. You will click the vocabulary word that fits. You hit check. When it's correct, it's like tic-tac-toe. So an X will show up, and you can, I believe you can move it around. You keep hitting next till it's done. Then your last one, I need to look up because it does not show. So give me a second. Main idea and detail with your context clues. So you're going to need to read the story and answer the question. You click check, then you hit next. There are 10 questions. You need to go all the way through. So again, how you find that. I'm going to show you. All right. You can go to a new tab. You go to your waffle. You scroll all the way down until you see McGraw-Hill Education Connect ED. Log in with your account. It may take you directly to your student page, but if it doesn't, you need to hit Student Edition, 3rd grade, and then in the to-do, all 3 will be there. So you just click and complete them all. Something else I want to show you. I know you already checked out our to-do list because you made it to our video, but I want to go over what is listed. So watch this entire video. Good job. Go to Walk to Learn at 10 o'clock. And then these are your assignments. So you should have went to Walk to Learn or about to go to Walk to Learn. Your Chapter 2 math book is that mid-chapter checkpoint, the front and the back. You should have your week 4 and 5, your purple brain check. The vocabulary piece needs to be done. Week 5 race packet. This is what I did with you. So yours should be filled out. Again, if you don't have it, you should have a piece of paper out writing what I have. Then you need to do one on your own. So race practice number 6. Go through all the steps of race, please. And again, if you don't have it on a piece of paper, answer the question because I put race practice number 6 on the camera, so all you have to do is pause. Then in your Wonders portal, you need to do commands, main idea and details, and vocabulary practice. You need to read for 30 minutes, and you need to complete your science assignment, your mystery science. There was only one experiment this week for science. How you can find that is you click into science. You scroll down to this week. It says click Tuesday and watch the mystery science video. You have week 6 and 7 science packet. All right, you should have 2 worksheets that say fossil dig, 1 worksheet that says fossil dig worksheet, and mystery fossils. You click in here. And it takes you to the video. You need to click all the way through. So you click, you play, you watch the video. And you need to click through. Watch the video and click through all the way till you are done. That is it, guys. Good job. I hope you're having a good Friday, and I will see you Monday morning at 8 o'clock. All right, bye.